In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a very compact survival kit that is all based around my canteen kit and how I've been adding to it and perfecting it. So stick around, it's going to be a good video. I've got somebody upset up there. He's not happy I'm back in his woods. But he'll calm down in a minute. So this is my new canteen setup that I just put together. And what I'm doing is I'm using my Keith titanium canteen set. And then what I did is I got this Valtcan pouch recently. And I really like the setup on this pouch because it's perfect for this kind of kit. It holds a lot, but it's not overly bulky. And I'll show you, how much stuff this thing actually holds. It's very surprising. And if you're, judicious with how you pack things and don't try to take the kitchen sink, you can get this down to a very manageable kit. So the first thing we have is, when talking about survival kits, a cutting tool is super important. And I wanted to have one that was on me all the time, that I didn't have to rely upon it being in my pockets or putting it on my belt like a fixed blade, but I wanted it to be capable. So I really like these bigger Victorinox knives. It has a locking blade. It is non-serrated. But what's fantastic about it is, for a woods knife, is that it has a very decent, good size saw. And that is going to be key for this kit, having that saw so you can actually process some wood. But it also has, of course, the normal things that Victorinox knives has. It has the toothpick and the tweezers, which are super handy. And then it's just some other tools as well, like can openers and bottle openers and things like that. Stuff that I'm not going to use as much, but this size knife is very capable of doing a lot of different tasks when you're out in the woods. And it's a perfect size for a canteen kit. So what's nice about this Valtcan pouch is it actually has a pouch on the side that fits this knife perfectly. So we've got our knife. We open up here. And then here is the Keith Titanium Canteen Set. This is exactly like the heavy cover. It's actually the same thing. Keith makes these. You get these on Amazon. And what I've done is I've added the military stove stand. And that's going to allow me to boil water. And I'm going to show you how that works and how these work. These are super lightweight, very inexpensive, readily available on military surplus and on eBay and places like that. And it works with this canteen set. So we've got our stove, we've got a cup, and we have a vessel to boil water if we need to, but also our drinking vessel. Then inside this pouch, I have orange bandana. So that is, of course, going to have a lot of multiple uses, but also could be used for signaling in a pinch. And then there is a pouch, a little slip pouch right here on the inside, and that's going to hold my lid to my cup. And then at the bottom of the pouch, I've coiled up some 550 cord just so I can have some cordage with me. Of course, you're not going to do a lot with this. You're not going to be building shelters with this, but if you have to use it for other things like bow drill or whatever, having some cordage is better than none. And of course, being 550, I can break this down into further line. So that just goes on the bottom of the pouch, doesn't take up any room. And then the front of this Valtcan pouch has all of the survival goodies. So what I found is a really nice oversized tin. This is bigger than an Altoids tin. The Altoid tins are nice. You can get some good stuff in them, but they're limited on how much stuff you can carry. This one is considerably bigger and it fits that front pouch perfectly. Let me show you what's inside here. All right, so let's look at the contents of this tin. Of course, we've got a rubber band which can be used as a fire starter in an emergency. We open it up here, and we got all kinds of little goodies. First thing, some fire starters. These are homemade. These are kind of like a dental dam that have been soaked in paraffin. Fantastic fire starter. I'll show you how these work. We have some wire, so we can use that for snares or for repair. Always a handy item to have. A mini bic, and what I do is I put a little zip tie around mine, and then I put the closure end underneath the button, and now the button cannot come down and discharge. But if I want to move it, I just move it to the side, and now I can. So now I can use it. So that just prevents it from losing gas when it's in the canister. Storm matches, always a handy item to have. This is something that I just picked up recently. This is actually from Oknife, and it is a titanium whistle with a compass built in. Really cool little item. It doesn't weigh a lot, and it's very sturdy. You're not going to break this thing. It's not going to get busted, but the fact that it has the compass built into it, now I have a decent little button compass in my kit, and this thing's not going to be affected by weather either. It's going to be a good solid piece of kit, and then I just put some line around it. In here I've got some more wire. That's brass wire. There are some water purification tablets, and then a micro signaling mirror. Pretty cool little item. And we have a magnifying lens, so we can start a fire that way, or use it to read maps or whatever. Look at a splinter, if I get a splinter on my finger. And then a diamond sharpening card, so I can maintain my blade in the field. And last but not least, we have our ferro rod. And of course, the tin itself is an item that can be utilized to make char material. So, a very compact little kit. It has everything I need. And I've got a little pack of steri strips and band-aids. This is all sealed, so if I do have to treat myself for some minor wounds, I can. 2 instant coffee packets, just for a good pick-me-up. And at the bottom of the pouch, I keep this little baggie stuffed with bouillon cubes. Bouillon cubes, when heated up, are a fantastic source of energy, salt, and just, a morale booster. Having a hot liquid in your stomach if you're hungry, this will do the trick. Now, this bag isn't big enough to carry a lot of extra food. That's what this is for. So this is kind of my supplement to get me by in case of an emergency. So this goes at the bottom of the bag. And then a light source, super important. This is just a little AAA flashlight. I forget where I got this at, maybe off of Amazon. It's very similar to a Streamlight, but what's kind of nice about it is I can attach this to the brim, and now I have an improvised headlamp, which is way better than nothing. It takes up very little room, and then if I want to use it as a task light, I can. Okay, we got our area cleared off, and what I've done is I'm starting to collect small material. So I want to get the finest material I can. Slice that open. expose the fibers. And the saw, the back of that saw makes an excellent way to strike your ferro rod. So I'm gonna, since it doesn't lock, I'm pressing it down on top of the stove, and I'm going to, that's going to create pressure so it doesn't open up on me. So what I've done is I've set the cup at an angle so I can get airflow, because with twigs and wood, if you put that cup snug to the stove, it basically snuffs out the fire. There's not enough oxygen to get through that because the stove stand is very small, so it needs more airflow. But if you angle it this way, it works pretty well. Put my lid on, and I'll let that boil. So now I don't have to have a lot of money tied up in a super fancy folding stove. It takes up a lot less room. It nests with my canteen cup, and of course that'll work with stainless steel military canteens as well. That's what they're meant for. But you can burn wood in these, no problem, and use them to heat up your water. Let that burn down, and then we'll pour some water over it, put it out. But there it is, hot coffee, under 10 minutes. All right, it's starting to get dark. I'm going to get out of here, head back to my truck. Put together a canteen kit, try that out, see what you think about it. They are a fantastic way of just striking out into the woods and doing a little bit of scouting and not carrying a lot of weight. And there's, with the proper pouch, you can carry enough survival gear to get the job done, at least to get you by until you get back to your vehicle. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.